Well, you're comfortable. That's what matters.
It's my day off, you know, I gotta embrace it.
Right.
All right, and I can read this statement, even though I don't know if it's, I will just do it.
Right.
Just for legal reasons.
So pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Westborough Spirit Committee will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with the right and/or requirement to attend this meeting can be found at the town's website at www.town.westborough.ma.us. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to listen and watch this meeting may do so in the following manner. A recording of the meeting will be posted on the town's website. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best effort, we will post on the town's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. Okay.
So was the last meeting with Alan and Christy recorded? Because I didn't see where that had been posted anywhere.
It probably hasn't been posted yet, but I don't know how to post on the town's website, but we have it.
So Jen, you probably just need to send a link to Mark.
Okay.
Because we have a page, the Spirit Committee has a page on the town website, right?
Yes.
So
He should probably do that for the rec. I've been meaning to ask somebody about the rec meetings too that we've had, that I'm like, those should probably get put up somewhere, but
yeah, or he can give someone access to that page so that we can post it ourselves.
okay. And I thought more other outside Rotary people were going to attend, so I should have had the minutes done, but I didn't, but I'll have them for next time so that we can approve them. Okay, so the purpose of today's meeting was just to discuss the winter stroll and any ideas people might have for what that might look like this year. I don't know, Courtney, if you're familiar with what it used to be or has been in the past, but just quickly, it started with the Economic Development Committee here in town as a way for people to promote Small Business Saturday, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and to kind of extend that into the Sunday to get people out shopping during the holiday season to local small businesses. So we would shut down West Main Street, have businesses, 10 to 12 businesses came out on the street, set up a booth, people would come, we had a DJ, and then after about an hour and a half of that, we had a light parade come down West Main Street, which would end with the annual Rotary tree lighting, which has been going on for years and years. So we kind of just added on to the tree lighting. Last year, we decided that the stroll portion where vendors were coming to the street was kind of not as well attended as we had hoped for. So we did last year, we rented some buses, well, Gary rented buses, and we drove people around. So people stayed at their businesses, but then we had a map of different places that were offering specials and things like that. Oh, and Maureen is Mrs. Claus. She reads a story at the library to kind of kick things off. That has always stayed the same. So that was last year. And then at the end, last year, there was a snowstorm coming in. So we canceled the light parade and tree lighting. But our plan was to kind of do the stroll, kind of bus people around. People could go at their own time to different stores. Then in the late afternoon, have a light parade down West Main Street and do the tree lighting. So that was last year. And this year, obviously with COVID, I don't think we're going to be able to gather at the Rotary or on the streets, especially as we get into the colder winter months, and who knows what this is going to look like. So I guess we just need to try to figure out if there's anything that we can do, and I think there is, and what that's going to look like this year. So so I don't know if anyone has any ideas or thoughts. Gary and I had talked briefly about possibly doing, we drove, the rec department drove the Easter Bunny around at the beginning of this. And we talked about maybe getting some vehicles lit up and driving a route, that Easter Bunny route, by people's houses, to kind of spread some winter cheer.
What route did you guys do?
I'd have to send it to you because it was long. It took us almost 3 hours. We went all over
man.
town. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that'd be cool. I'm just curious because we could advertise like come outside, you know, like step outside. I'm sure you guys.
That's what we did. Yeah. So we obviously could not go down every street. So what we said was like, I don't know all the names of streets, but just, you know, say we weren't going down School Street, but you know, we were going down the street next to it, you know, come to the corner. People did gather a little bit. Like over by Bowman, that I think was a hot spot that we didn't maybe travel as well as we could have, but people gathered right up by Hennessy Field, and it was great. Like, you know, they're outside, you know,
the res. Yeah.
So and we had a police escort, which we'll definitely need if we were going to do that. Another suggestion that we had kind of talked about here in the office, we just wrapped up our scarecrow contest with businesses, which has gone really well. People are voting like crazy. We had 20 businesses participate. I think like 30, maybe 25, 30 families built scarecrows. So we were talking here, maybe having families decorate store windows, or even have people build gingerbread houses, either the traditional ones or out of cardboard, and display those in the businesses and have people go around and vote. Another thing that we were kind of thinking of in here was a virtual tree lighting. So have Westborough TV film the tree getting lit up and people can watch. So maybe something we could work with Westborough TV. So those were just a couple of things that I had talked about with a few different people, open to suggestions or other thoughts or whatever. But
quick question, sorry. So are they still planning on putting the lights up in town? Down by the Rotary and all the trees lining the streets? Are
Is
the
that
lights?
a Rotary? Is that a Rotary thing? So
I-
maybe Maureen or Gary or Roberta know.
It's a DPW.
Well, hold on. It used to be that the Rotary did it, okay? And over time, the DPW is kind of, in my words, kind of pushed their way in.
Yeah.
And they've been doing it. Now, as a Rotarian, I've been pretty happy with that. Let the DPW guys with their bucket truck and all that stuff do all the decorating. There's been some grumbling in Rotary that the DPW may not be taking as much care of the light bulbs as the Rotary did. So maybe we should transition it back. I don't know where that discussion ended up, but the last group that did it was the DPW.
Yeah.
And I think they had to do that because the trees got too tall for Rotarians to put the lights on them from the ground. And we just didn't have the equipment or the expertise to climb in bucket trucks. And
I think it's great that the DPW does it. I think that the people that are saying, well, the trees look a little sparse and they aren't, part of that is, as you point out, Maureen, the trees have grown and we probably haven't added enough lights to light up the whole tree.
yeah.
But I personally, part of what Rotary has also been doing is they put together, I'm going to call it a stage down at the Rotary, and then at the end of this thing, when the tree is lit, they have Santa Claus there. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how they're going to do that this year safely. And I know that Harvey Farms has asked the Board of Health how they can have a Santa Claus safely. I don't know what the ruling is, but I think that, that has traditionally been one of the things that Rotary did is they take this stage out of their storage container, drag it over to the Rotary, set it up, and then they have kids come blasting through. And they sit, they pop on Santa's lap and off they run. I don't know how to do that safely this year.
we
Do you
have
get
to,
a sense that they want to do that still, or are they kind of, or do you feel like they've resigned to the fact that it's just not going to be possible? Because I don't know how they would do that either. But do you get a sense that maybe they want?
I have not talked to anyone that has said anything about it not happening. I don't think that they know how to do it.
Mm.
You know, Rotarians tend to be stubborn and want to keep the tradition, and that's a good thing. I just don't know. You know, do I think that we could have a virtual tree lighting? You know, I actually, for Harvey's, I actually said, why don't you put Santa on Zoom and let people, you know, families meet individually with Santa that way. It, you know, as I don't know how you pass, let's say it's 50 kids, just to make up a number. I don't know how you pass 50 kids through a single person's open arms, take some pictures, and move on, and not have that end up being a super spreading event. You know,
Yeah.
it's a shame, and I think that it might be a time for being creative, but I don't know that anyone's thought that through yet.
well, this is where we have to get the guidelines with the Board of Health.
You
See what they allow, they don't allow.
that they're not going to allow that. The gathering limit outside is 25 people.
Right.
And I don't see how they could do it just from, the history of it. I mean, people pack it in. Maybe, I'm
Right.
sure it would be less this year maybe because people are hesitant, but
Not to 25 people though.
Yeah,
You know,
it wouldn't.
not to within the guidelines, I think.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way.
So, yeah.
If it were my event and only my event,
Mhm.
I would figure out a way to do something. And
Right.
like a big cardboard cutout of Santa that someone can go, you know, that's sitting at the Rotary on the stage that someone can get their picture with at any point they want, socially distanced over a period of a couple of weeks. I'm making this up. Hopefully some vandal doesn't go put a mustache on Santa's face. But I don't know how you pass children through the hands of a person in a safe way these days. I don't see it happening.
Right. So, and I think that's more, and I hate to say it like this, but that's the Rotary's situation that they're going to have to work through somehow. Obviously, we can work with them, but I think we're tasked with the part before that. So the typical light parade, we can't shut down West Main Street and have people gather. And I don't think that we can be busing people to businesses and having crowds, and because businesses are at certain capacity limits as well. Like Yummy Mummy couldn't have the situation that she had this year. I mean, you could barely get in the door. So I think I want to continue. I want to work with the businesses and, you know, help promote them as much as we can. But I think we're going to have to just think of other ways to do that.
Right.
That don't include a 2-hour window of like, go to Yummy Mummy, get a free cookie, because I think that creates crowds. So I don't know if anybody had any thoughts or ideas.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the business piece could be more than just that day, if it could be longer.
Yep.
So it helps them with the limits, with their capacity limits, and still promotes them, but with
Like,
a frame.
Holiday week instead of a one-day event.
Yeah, like a week long.
Yeah, like the lights are on and they're up, you know, they're up and they're on by a certain, and then we just make it like during this 7-day stretch, you know, we have everything decorated for a while, you know. I don't know.
I know before, people on this committee, when we first started, always wondered why storefronts downtown weren't decorating or participating more. And the feedback from when we had an economic developer was that there's no incentive for businesses. The other towns do it, like Hudson, and there's an incentive that you would pick the best storefront and then they win some sort of prize, but there's never been funding for that. I don't know if the Spirit Committee funds can be used for any kind of, I don't even know what the prize would be, a gift card, I have no idea. But maybe there is something that we could tell business, hey, decorate your storefront. People are voting. There's a prize
Right.
involved. Maybe that gets people more excited about it, because that was the feedback from years before, was that they can't, I mean, and last year we were out knocking on going door to door saying, hey, participate. And still people were like, well, why, for what? You know, it seems like businesses need an incentive, or they need what I
Right.
found with the scarecrows, or they need to not have any work to do on their part. People were happy to open their doors and have someone else build a scarecrow and prop it up in their storefront. People loved that. But when you're asking businesses to either do a sale or put in a little bit of effort, it
Right.
seems to be a little bit of a harder sell.
We ran into that, Roberta, we ran into that when we were going around for the senior parade. A
Yep.
lot of the businesses were like, well, because they have to spend money, and especially right now, you're talking businesses just don't have that extra
Exactly.
cash. And once we said, or people can come decorate for you, they were all on board.
Right.
So it could be something we like, I don't know, like, are there clubs, or like we could say, hey, like, you know, this committee or club, you get
I think we have to give
this
a little
business.
in order for us to receive. So I think what Jen said originally, and I'm sorry to interrupt, Courtney.
No,
I think Jen was right on target. We have to give the business owner incentive to do something for us. So if we say there's prizes, if you decorate your storefronts, or if you leave a goodie like Yummy Mummies, like a pastry or cookie outside on a table, or something for them to receive something back in return. I think that's a great idea, Jen. And I think we have enough, we have money, so let's try to use some of our money to give out so they can give back to us. And then that get them excited. I agree with that.
Yep. And like I said, the scarecrows, people in town, what we did was similar to what Courtney was saying, was that we had people sign up, and then once we closed signups, and then we just assigned people, like, you know, okay, Maureen gets Yummy Mummy, then I put them in contact, like, you work with Melissa on a day that you can come down with your scarecrow. So
But one thing though that I've heard, Jen, and I don't want to rain on the parade.
No.
I think the scarecrow thing was great, but I have heard businesses bitch and moan that they weren't asked to participate. So as long as we're inclusive of everyone that wants to participate,
Right.
and I'm
yeah,
not,
that's a big.
I don't know how you do that.
I sent a letter to everybody, defending myself.
Well, okay, then
Yeah, no, I know.
Offline, we can talk about the people that say they didn't get a letter.
Yeah, I would like, just because I hope to continue it. So
Right.
in all seriousness, I would like to touch base on that, to just know who I
That's
missed,
fine.
who's mad at me now.
You know
You
what I
didn't
want.
miss anybody, Jen. That's not on you.
No, they're not mad at you. They're not
No.
mad at you. Just a
Yes,
little.
they are. They're pissed off at Jennifer Jane Kirkland.
It was disappointed. It was disappointment, not pissed off. They don't know Jen and how Jen is. Jen is a good person. If they knew Jen, they wouldn't be mad. That's all.
Thank Roberta.
Roberta's got your back. Don't worry.
I know,
Jennifer
thanks,
Jane
Roberta.
Kirkland is dead to some people. It's just that simple.
Oh, you gotta get your butt kicked. Go ahead. Sorry.
So I guess maybe stepping further back, are we sold on a date? Like, so what are we thinking? Like, are we gonna just do a week long kind of,
When
almost
was
how we
last
do unplugs, like a week long kind of different events every day? Are we doing anything on that Sunday? The light parade through the town, I think would be awesome, but it would be a long night because we only had 4 vehicles and it took us almost 3 hours.
When do we know if the Rotary / DPW, whoever's doing the lights this year, do we know when that was scheduled for?
It's usually the Sunday after Thanksgiving.
Sunday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
So the
it's
29th.
that same day every year.
Yeah.
November 29th, is that the date, Jen?
Yeah. So
I think the week-long thing would be more, I think it would be better.
So
We could
starting
do-
up, even if they wanted to light up the tree and everything on the 29th, and then that kicks off the entire week
Mhm.
of winter fun.
And then maybe not end it, but like say Friday or Saturday night, you could have people decorate instead of, well, no, because that would be really long. I was thinking have people decorate their cars and you could have like one spot that they drive through. Like the high school, have them loop around the high school, or I was going to say the Rotary, but that would just shut down traffic for the entire town for way too
Right.
long. So maybe, or like,
And then we're gonna have more detail, which costs more money.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Adam in our office brought that up actually, and I thought it was a good idea, but then when we kind of started talking about going up the state hospital, I think the amount of cars that we would get and the congestion,
Mhm.
I hate to say it like this, like it might not be worth all the work that goes into it,
You're right,
getting
Jen.
it done. But Adam had that idea, and at first it was like, oh, that could be good, but you just never know, that it could be a huge turnout, and then it turns into a nightmare.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wherever you do it.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, oh, you could give like a candy cane to every car that comes through, but then you're handing things out. Yeah,
Yeah.
not gonna fly.
So tough to work with this COVID-19. It's tough. But we will do it. We'll work around it.
We want it to be simple, not complicated for us or the businesses participating.
Right, Maureen.
Yeah.
So do we all agree on the week-long event? Is that fine with everybody? Jen, what do you think?
I think that's good. It reminds, like, we do something similar for Unplugs, just a little something every week, every day, and
Yeah.
we can just encourage businesses. So what did we decide on, that we're going to have businesses decorate with an incentive, or are we going to try to have residents decorate or build a gingerbread house and put it in stores?
You could pick a different day. So like Monday would be like, go vote on your favorite business. Tuesday, vote on your favorite house. Wednesday,
Right.
a
Kinda-
different competition or something.
Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. So for the businesses, we're going to ask them to decorate. We're not going to have people go and decorate for them or do things for it. Like how we were saying that sometimes businesses like when people do things for them, rightfully so, because then they don't have to expend staff hours and money.
If we're going to incentivize it, what would the incentive be? I think is the first question, because then we can go to businesses and say, hey, you could get I don't know what does Hudson do? Do they give them like $100? Like, I don't know what they, how do you incentivize
We don't have an economic developer right now, and I could reach out to Kate and see, because Kate O'Brien is our old economic developer, and it was just it was another aspect too, that other towns do all this great stuff, but they have incentives for businesses.
Right.
So maybe I can ask her, or if anyone else has ideas. I don't know what businesses would want. Maybe we could ask the business owners. I don't even know if we're allowed to spend money this way, but I can ask.
Right. If we can even get money for their time, like Courtney said, like $100, but who is in charge of it now? Who took Kate's place, Jen?
That's vacant right now.
Okay.
I personally don't know that we should be planning on spending the town's money to incentivize businesses to do this. And it's only from the perspective that, if economic development had a chair and had someone that was in charge and was doing this, it's fine for them to say, yeah, we should do that. We don't have anyone here from economic development, so we're spending money that's not ours to spend. And, frankly, businesses should want to decorate their windows on their own and not have to be incented,
Yeah.
So I have a hard time with that.
No, you make sense, but they spent so much money throughout the years, Gary, like me with the 300th, going around ask for money. They donated. And I think that the town is depleted. And that's why I thought it was a good idea to get them going. But I respect what you say, most definitely.
No,
But this,
I don't want to be a naysayer, but
No, I
think
agree with
No.
you, Gary.
no, I respect that.
As someone that works with in a small business, I want to decorate. It was just disheartening when we went around and for the senior parade and nobody was receptive until we told them that people would come decorate for them. Then they said, "Oh, that's fine." Like,
Right.
I think the senior parade may be different. I mean, I'm more concerned, and again, Westborough not having an economic development person, that helps me understand why Westborough doesn't seem to be doing anything with economic development.
Yeah.
That's I didn't know that. Yeah,
Well, there was a hiring freeze because of COVID.
Right. That's understandable.
that's fine. Where I was going with that was to say I'm more concerned with, I don't know how many vacant storefronts there are right now. You've got Subway, I know that. If we could get access in there, throw up some old holiday decorations that are up in the attic, that kind of thing. Yeah, I'm more concerned with making sure that it looks nice as best we can.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to ask the landlord to decorate it. I suppose you could, even if you just went in and painted the windows, but you'd have to get inside the building.
Right.
yeah.
Who owns that building anyways? Do you know?
He owns basically all of downtown. He owns that whole
Okay.
section. I'm sure we could find out. I can ask.
Yeah.
What's this? Is it Bruce?
I wouldn't know off the top of my head. I'd have to ask my.
Ferris. She'll
Yeah.
know who. No problem. I mean, even if only downtown decorates, then only if like those businesses are willing to decorate, we can ask. They can say no, but at least we can ask them if they want to participate. And if they say no, it's no. But the people that want to participate, let them do it.
I'll jump in and run around and ask people to decorate.
I do think there's a way to get businesses to want to do this. If we want to have voting, I heard people say you did, you could make up a sign that, something very simple.
Mhm.
And I'm talking something as complicated as this. I mean, you get Curry Printing or someone to print it up, okay? But you put that in the window, okay?
Yeah, that incentivizes them on its own just because it brings people into their business.
Brings people into their business, and if they opted not to participate, I hope that there's some peer pressure saying, I'm going to pick on the Subway guy. You didn't do
So
anything?
sorry, I feel like this is just every year we do this. And Roberta, you were out with us last year.
Yeah.
And places look at you like you have eight
Two
heads
heads.
when you go in and you ask them to do this stuff. And I mean, even when Francisco was here, and Francisco could sell water to the ocean, it was a big Bill Lanane used to get on us. Why aren't businesses doing it? And they just either don't want to, don't have the bandwidth. And I worry, especially this year, that if we make it too hard and say, do it on your own, that people are just going to say, no, or I don't want to, I don't understand. The most success I've had with anything on a storefront, and don't mean to keep going back to the scarecrows, is the scarecrows, because literally business had nothing to do but open their door and say, put it here. I mean, I'm definitely willing to try, but I feel like this is, I don't know how many years we've been doing this now, but every year it's the same. Just how do we get businesses to participate? And it's just, we can't want it more than they do, sort of. I don't know.
Right.
Maureen, what do you think? I feel like you've been quiet. I feel like I just
I'm
want to.
thinking maybe we just do the virtual tree lighting and the parade around town and just make it simple and
Yep.
kind of revisit the whole business piece next year after COVID, hopefully. Since we
Yeah, I
can't
mean, we
have
can,
a gathering of more than 25 people. And logistically, it just seems like a lot of work for us to do to try and get people to decorate windows, people to let us decorate their windows, do a contest, figure out a prize, what's going to make them participate. You just make it simple and easy and do the tree lighting in a parade. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I agree. Or it's something where people can sign up again and just, that was easy, and just they can put something in the stores. Or we can try again with the stores. I don't want to be a downer, but I agree. Just, yeah, maybe keep it simple, or have other people go into the businesses and put something up. But I don't want to, go ahead.
I'm willing to go out, Jen. I mean, I can at least try. If I get no's, then I'll come back to you and say, you know what, it's not even worth it, Jen. But if I try to get the business owners to decorate, especially in the middle of town, and if I think they want to do something, even though we're going through this COVID-19 scare, I think they want to do something because now their businesses are not taking off like they used to, and everybody's scratching for money right now. So
Yeah.
I think it's a good time to kind of approach them. If I say, listen, this is what we're going to do. There's no pressure. Make it like it's their own thing and get them excited instead of saying, you have to do it. If I can come in and say, hey, we're doing this fun thing. You want to do this? You want to decorate? I'm sure we'll get a lot out of Honey and to making it think it's their idea, Jen. I don't know what you girls think. I don't know what you guys think, but we can at least try. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think it's worth a shot. And if, we find a lot of people just being like, then we just don't do the competition. Or we do the competition and, the 3 businesses that are in it win. One of those, 1, 2, 3.
Right.
I think the virtual tree lighting and maybe like a virtual Santa or Mrs. Claus doing a reading or what did you do before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Mrs. Claus.
I could totally do Mrs. Claus story time virtually, not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a virtual reading of that and a virtual, lighting, and we get Westborough TV involved, so it's everyone can see it and we stream it. And then, we'll just try to tackle the businesses, and if they're not interested, then we keep moving, but we at least have a plan.
Yeah. So we asking businesses to decorate, and then we're going to ask people to vote for the best storefront. Is that the plan?
Yeah, I think that's good. Depends on how.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do we feel about the parade around town with the lights?
I love that.
I love the idea. I think that the way that you were saying the Easter Bunny thing went, that sounds like it's going to be.
People did love it. It's just going to be long. And I guess if you're prepared for it and we just do it, I'd have to talk to the police about getting a cop. He didn't charge us.
Oh, good.
And they were awesome with the lights and just traffic wise. At first I was like, maybe we don't even really need a cop, but just they could block roads so we could get by, and we could cap it at maybe 5 to 10 vehicles.
Or you could do so what was the issue with people would gather, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of if you had it a shorter route, and not hit every house, but you're advertising it, so then the people that are living on streets it's not going to pass by could come out. But
yeah,
that's what they seem to do for when they did the parades where the teachers went around at the end of the school year or whatever to see their kids. They made those specific routes, and then people that weren't necessarily on a street came to that corner.
Yeah, people, yeah, yep.
Can we get the Grinch in somehow? Because that was a big hit last year, guys.
You could do the Grinch on a vehicle driving by.
Right.
Well, yeah, we did that with Steven in our office is the Easter Bunny. Maureen's Mrs. Claus, we have an Easter Bunny. And that was in April or March, and he was in the back of a pickup truck. And at the end of it, the poor thing was, I was worried he had hypothermia because of the wind, and he was in a full bunny suit.
Yeah.
So the Grinch is good, but I wonder, it's going to be colder at night.
Right, right then.
But I mean, maybe he could be in a car hanging out of a window, or he just does for part of it and then he goes in. I don't know.
Right.
Because the Easter Bunny, he had to be out the entire time because that was the whole show. So maybe the Grinch is just out for a little bit. He warms up, then goes back out.
Right.
So we've got all these plexiglass shields. Maybe we surround the kid in plexiglass with a little heater inside.
Maybe, yeah.
Because the Grinch was great last year. Everybody loved the Grinch. So even
But I, as someone who's stood out on West Main Street and had his fingers frozen for many years, Jen's right. It can be miserably cold.
Yeah, we got off of that and we got out and I was like, oh, that was awesome. Kind of had all this adrenaline. Steven's just looking at me. He's like, can't feel my hands. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I forgot about you up there. Getting
I
windburned.
was thinking for the parade, if we had Santa and Mrs. Claus at the end of the parade, but it's going to be that same issue. If it's cold out and we're driving around town for 3 hours
or longer,
we're going to be like little blocks of ice at the end.
I still have my elf costume that I bought for last year.
Oh my God, that would be so excellent too.
A little elf right next to you, Mrs. Claus. I think it's a great idea. I think if we show them and get them in the spirit, which everybody wants to get in the spirit, let's do it. If we can do it.
I just need something shorter than a 3-hour route. Yeah, and then we'll avoid the
it's not, I don't know if it's the route so much as how slow you have to go and how many cars you have. That plays into the time. Because with the car, I mean, if you're driving normal, you could get through. I mean, I can send that out and you guys can edit it. The police said that it was good because I had them look at it and they were like, yeah, this works. Or maybe, I don't know, and maybe we cap it at 5 cars. I mean, it's hard to get people when we do for the light parade where it's grown a little bit, but I mean, we really get maybe 10 cars. So.
And then, like, so what vehicles do you have? Like an ambulance, a police car?
No, we just usually have a fire truck, but we just put it out to people and people decorate their own cars. Someone last year, 2 years ago, decorated their boat and towed their boat, which was awesome. That had kids on it. But again, this was like from the library to the Rotary. It's the shortest parade in history.
But it was really cool.
It's a really good parade, Jen. You did a great
job.
That sounds awesome. That maybe we do that. But then no, we're dealing with the gathering.
So
what if you do high school to Rotary and just that part of Main Street?
It's still gonna draw too many people.
Yeah, you're right. Damn it. Yeah.
And then I'm just like, maybe we do the parade, just us, but then people would come out. I was thinking and have Westborough TV film it, and it's all just virtual, like watch it on TV. Like the ball dropping on New Year's Eve. I don't know.
That's true, Jen.
All
we can do is try it, see how everybody feels, the business owners. We'll pull out, well, I'll start today. I don't care. I'll see how everybody feels. And then we can talk about it at a later date or whenever, Jen,
So what are we sold on? We're definitely going to do, we'll try with the businesses. And then we'll have to regroup and maybe we can think about and we can talk to some people about a parade. And you guys can maybe talk to the Rotary Club and see about if they're going to do a virtual tree lighting. See if they're into that. So
Virtual tree lighting.
Are we? Yeah, I'm irritated that no one from the Rotary in the position of authority, as opposed to enthusiastic volunteers, are here. Is the message to the Rotary that they're going to have to figure out how they're going to do Santa Claus, or we're not going to let them do it?
no, I think, well, I mean, you guys know, I feel like we do it together, but I always just feel like the Santa and the tree lighting has always just been the Rotary. I know that people in the Rotary feel very protective of that event. And so I don't want to make any decisions for them or without them, even though you guys are on Rotary, but I feel like the people that are super protective of it are not Maureen.
You're absolutely right. But I don't think it's unfair. I'm trying this on for size, to send Kathy, who didn't come to the meeting, a note and say that the Spirit Committee and the Rec Department, respect that that's a Rotary event, and Rotary's going to have to figure out how to do it safely. And that's not clear to us. There's something along those lines.
Right.
In other words,
Yeah.
put the ball in their court.
Right. Right. I agree.
I mean, we definitely have to figure out the tree lighting, because that's
That's important.
Well, last year there because of the storm that was coming in, there was no quote tree lighting, but the tree was lit. It was lit for days afterwards, and I actually think that downtown looks kind of nice with the
with the
lights
lights
on and all that. But they just didn't have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, yay! It was just someone turned lights on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody flipped the switch at some point. Hit the lights on your way out type thing.
Yeah, so I guess
Yeah.
we maybe find out what Rotary's planning, because we wouldn't want to do anything if they were going to try to do something or have something streaming. We wouldn't want to do the light parade the same night, I don't think. So maybe we find out what Rotary's doing. We'll feel out the businesses, see what they're doing, and maybe we reconvene in a couple of weeks. Now that we've kind of hashed out what we're hoping to do, maybe we'll have an answer from Rotary. We can think more about the light parade and what that might look like, and we'll get a sense of where businesses are at, if they're willing to decorate or not. Does that feel like a good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Meeting in a week if we can, because
Sure.
we're going to run out of time on the calendar to promote it. And
Yeah.
Jen, especially if we want to get people to decorate cars.
Yeah. Totally.
They need to know that sooner rather than later.
And connecting with like Westborough TV or DPW about lighting, and also for like how we're gonna stream it and that kind of stuff. I think a week we can get some things done within the first week, and then I think you're right, Maureen. The clock's gonna run out if we don't hurry up on some
Right.
stuff.
And I have a Spirit Committee meeting posted for the 21st at 6 anyway, because that was going to be our monthly meeting before this came up that we had agreed on. So so is that cool with everybody? We meet next Wednesday night at 6?
Let's just continue this on the Spirit Committee.
Right.
Yep, that works for me.
Invite Rotary, whoever's coordinating.
I want to make sure. I have no problem with that, but I want to make sure the Spirit Committee spends time on what the Spirit Committee should be doing. Like, what is the Spirit Committee going to do? Okay, that was one of the, if picking up trash is the request from the Board of Selectmen, are we going to act on that, or are we going to do something else? I think that we need to spend time as the Spirit Committee defining what our role is, because I don't personally want any more beatdowns. I'm still, everyone on this call knows that I was really irritated leaving that, and I still am. So
Yeah.
Right.
I think we have to decide what our role is. Because one of my questions to the town is, where's the Spirit Committee Facebook page? Because if we're going to promote anything as the Spirit Committee, we don't have a vehicle to do that.
Right. And Alan said he was going to get on it, but I still haven't seen anything. So I can push.
I'm not being critical. I don't want to have anyone say that we had published a meeting and then we co-opted the meeting for another topic, and someone not be at this meeting where it was logically determined that that's what we would do.
Yep.
Right, but I think
Very, so
I totally get it, but this is in front of us right now, and it's just so many of us are involved with it anyway. We have, if anyone were to say anything, we have to deal with this.
Right,
And
Jen.
then as we, in December and January, but this is an event that all of us, like Maureen, Roberta, Gary, we've all just been a part of it anyway. We happen to be on the Spirit Committee, so I just feel like this is a good event for us to start with. And then, I mean, but I understand what you're saying. So are you asking, so do you want me to have like a holiday, a winter stroll Spirit Committee meeting and then another Spirit Committee meeting to kind of separate from the
No,
winter stroll to?
let me be very specific. I don't, at some point, the chair of the Spirit Committee, Roberta, needs to determine when we're going to discuss the things that we were instructed to discuss.
Yes.
We need to publicize to the other people on the group who aren't here what we did today and what we're planning on doing next time. Because frankly, I don't want another beatdown for someone saying, "Oh, we didn't know."
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, we can't do the Halloween, so that's canceled out. I threw suggestions out to Christy Williams and Allie, and we couldn't do it because of the COVID-19. So right now, Gary, I mean, our concentration has to be on the winter stroll.
That's a logical perspective that I happen to agree with, but there are members of the Spirit Committee that aren't here, and then we're going to get barked at. I don't want barking. Everyone knows what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right.
We're
I
gonna
agree
on
with
the
Gary. I don't want to get yelled at like I will.
On the 21st, though, that was a meeting we had all agreed on. So I think
Right.
other members that aren't here will be at that. And I think I even put that in my email saying, if you can't make it, we'll reconvene. We'll catch people up to speed on the 21st. Right. This is what we talked about. This is where we're going, and let them chime in. And I think that will be covered. And we'll also be covered that we had a no response, no show to a meeting that was, put out there well in advance. So I think that if we have records of attendance too, that's part of committees and commissions that, people who attend meetings and who don't. So I think the next time, hopefully there isn't, if we get spoken to, we'll have more of a leg to stand on. Well, like, here are some facts. We met this many times. We've sent this many emails. This is the response that we've received.
And I feel bad because this was not towards the committee. This was towards two members on this committee. And we should have been scolded privately instead of publicly in front of the committee. That is my view. I think you guys are doing a wonderful job. I'm really happy with all of you. People know what's going on. It's too bad that it came out like it did, and I apologize. But
remember also, guys, that the people who aren't here will have access to the recording. They can watch the recording and get up to speed as well. So
that's one of the reasons I asked if the last meeting was ever posted. If we're not posting these things, then people can't participate.
Yeah.
I don't mean to come out so strongly, but I don't want Alan Edinburgh going up my butt ever again, because he was, in my opinion, he was out of character, and it was not an appropriate forum for that. And I'm being sensitive to responding to that. It's just that simple.
Well, from this point on, since we are going to have a meeting next week, I think we should be concentrating on ideas or what other people's ideas are, and then we'll see if we can follow through. We have limited time this year, obviously, so I think, in my view, that we should be concentrating on the winter stroll, and then whoever has different ideas for this coming up year, be gladly to put it on the table. I'm open to everything, and I'm sure the rest of the committee is the same way.
And that might be a great discussion for our Spirit Committee December meeting, to kind of talk about our plans, sketch out our year for 2021, what we think we'll be able to do, COVID related. But that'll give us October and November to get holiday stroll planned and executed, and then kind of go from there.
Right. I agree with you, Maureen.
Awesome.
Okay, so October 21st at 6?
Yep.
All right, and I will remind everybody else.
Thank you, Jen.
All right, perfect.
So Gary or Roberta, are one of you going to reach out to whoever the Rotary contact is?
I'll
we-
reach out to Kathy and copy Jim.
Okay. Thank you, Gary.
Okay. Thanks.
Beautiful.
All right.
I will see all your lovely faces Tuesday, October. Wednesday. You're right. It's Wednesday. Thank you, Jen. And we'll discuss more the winter stroll. Sorry.
All right.
Awesome. I'll see you guys then.
See ya.
All right.
Right, Jen. Bye-bye.
Bye.